If you have bad anxiety, you've probably tried meditation. And as you know, it is really hard to meditate when you're anxious. It feels like trying to fall asleep after drinking 3 espressos. And when meditation doesn't help, people just assume they're doing it wrong or that their brain is just too busy to ever calm down. If you've had this experience, I want to share one thing that really helped me before I ever implemented a steady practice of meditation. Because while I think meditation is extremely helpful and extremely beneficial, doing it at the wrong time can prevent you from healing. And what I'm going to teach you in this video is the order that I went in that didn't just make my anxiety manageable, it actually healed it. I no longer struggle with any chronic anxiety. So let's talk about why meditation isn't helping your anxiety and what you should be doing first to prep your brain, your nervous system to sit in stillness. And you'll know when the right time is for you to start meditating. And I'll share kind of what my practice looks like now. So when you struggle with anxiety and you're trying to meditate, you're meditating from a body that still feels unsafe. And that stillness is activating the same alarms that have been running under the surface that are signaling danger. Because when your body is in fight or flight, stillness activates a danger response inside of your brain. And your nervous system's job is to move you out of that state, not to have you sit in it. So if you find that you're forcing yourself to meditate because you know it's so good for you, don't be surprised if that actually reinforces the panic, because your body will start associating like sitting still means something bad is going to happen, even though you know that it won't. I know logically you know that it won't, but I want you to just see what is being signaled from your nervous system to your brain, that sitting in stillness when you're in full on fight or flight and you're freaking out and you have all these racing thoughts and you're extremely dysregulated is going to feel like a threat. So the issue isn't that meditation doesn't work or that it won't eventually work for you. It's that your body isn't ready to experience that calm yet. Your body has no baseline for what does safety even feel like for me. So meditation requires just like a basic baseline of calm and safety. You don't have to be completely regulated. You don't have to feel completely safe, but we do have to like bring those blaring alarms down to like a gentle hum before you're ready to sit with yourself. We want just enough regulation that stillness feels tolerable. We don't want it to feel terrifying anymore. It can be a while before stillness feels safe. This could be weeks, it could be months. But as you work to bring down that baseline of stress, stillness is going to feel more accessible for you. It's going to feel more doable for you. So this isn't about what you do right before your meditation practice, because in the future, it may help to do some deep breathing or some grounding. But what I'm talking about here is what to do perhaps in the season before you take on your meditation practice. So the goal is just going to be setting your foundation. We want to lower your system's overall threat level so it's not constantly scanning for danger. So I want to talk about 4 things that naturally signal safety to your body so that we can create that foundation together. The first are your daily rhythms. These are the things you're doing every single day to signal that we are living in a state of safety. Things like consistent meals, sleep, sunlight, reduce screen time. These are all things that done daily are going to bring down that baseline level of threat just a bit. The second is like using movement before you use stillness. Things like walking or stretching or gentle yoga or dancing. These are things that gently expel that anxious energy. Another thing is co-regulation through grounding. This is connection with safe people, maybe pets, and nature. Nature is a huge thing that can just signal that safety to your nervous system. And then the fourth thing is just getting comfortable allowing whatever is to exist. Practicing non-resistance to the sensations, the thoughts, and the feelings that you're experiencing. All of these things are kind of like regulation on the go. It doesn't have you sitting with yourself in stillness and feeling every single sensation and hearing every single thought. We can get to that. And when we get to that later, it's going to be from a place of a bit more safety, a lower stress threat level, and the ability to sit in stillness and really be okay with whatever comes up. But these other 4 things that I just mentioned are things that very naturally do the heavy lifting of signaling safety to your system. So we have a baseline and a foundation on which to work off of. This was a huge part of my healing process. I learned about all the tools. I learned about brain retraining, visualization, meditation, journaling. They all felt so heavy to me. They all felt like a to-do list. They all felt like I was doing them wrong because they weren't working. I wasn't feeling any more calm. I wasn't feeling any more regulated. I wasn't feeling any reduction in my symptoms. And so at one point, I just decided I wasn't going to do any of those things until I was a bit more regulated. So after doing all 4 of those things for about 4 months, I noticed that my system started to soften. I noticed that I had this baseline level of more calm. I was not perfectly regulated. I was not perfectly calm. I did not feel good most of the time, but I felt a little bit better. And I felt like I had this space to look at the tools that are available for rewiring your brain and regulating your nervous system, and to use some of them from a curious space, not from a space of needing to fix or make my symptoms go away. But I wanted to choose one practice that would help me be with myself. Meditation was that practice for me. The route I decided to go were the meditations from Joe Dispenza. I love his meditations. I love his work. I've been to one of his retreats. I'm going to a second one in December. It was just a method that resonated with me. And it began a daily practice that I really love and I do to this day. And I do know the benefits of meditation. I know the effect on the brain. I know the effect on the autonomic nervous system. I know how it helps you get into the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state. I understand how it takes you out of this busy brainwave state and into a more calm brainwave state. And I knew all the benefits of those things, but that didn't matter when I was in full-blown nervous system on fire mode. And I believe that was what made meditation work for me, because while I could have just overridden the panic and the feeling of trapped that I felt the times when I tried to meditate too early on in this process, I love that I set myself up to have a really juicy relationship with a practice that I know is so good for me and continues to help me heal from the chronic pain symptoms that I'm still working through. Meditation for me is a way that I work to be with myself. The reason why most of us are in this mess is because at some point we stepped away from our body. We escaped from our body into our mind. We went into analyzing and fix it mode and find a solution mode, and we got so disconnected from our body. Meditation helps you get back into your body. It's not in an attempt to calm down. It's just in an attempt to be with what is here. So if meditation hasn't helped you heal and it hasn't helped you feel better, there's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong. There's just a chance that maybe your system wasn't prepped to be in stillness. So what I would recommend is start by lowering that stress baseline with easy things that signal to your nervous system, we are safe. It is safe to downshift. It is safe to feel safe when I am safe. That was a quote by one of my therapists that has stuck with me all of this time. And once you set that baseline, stillness isn't going to feel like it takes so much effort for you. It's going to be something that you feel drawn to, something that you feel compelled to, and something that really makes your life better. I appreciate you watching this video. If you like what you heard and you want more information on nervous system regulation and recovering from chronic pain and other symptoms, make sure you like and subscribe.